Alright, so welcome to our podcast, Stepping Out of Your Comfort Zone. Today we're joined by Palace, who will be sharing his experiences of helping students during peer sport. So Palace, could you tell us a bit of how you got involved in this project?
Sure can. I'm a grade 12 student at VCI, and peer sport is part of our link class evaluation.
That's great. So what were some challenges you had to solve when working with these students?
One of the biggest challenges was learning how to connect with them and build trust. At the beginning of peer sport, I was nervous about connecting with the students, but basically after the first class, I realized there was just another student. It was easy to connect with them.
Alright, yeah, it's really important that you are able to connect with the students you're teaching. What are some problem-solving skills you'd say you developed during peer support?
One of the biggest problems I faced with every student was keeping them focused and on task. One thing I realized was once they were doing the work, it was easy to keep them engaged. Deciding when to be their friend and when to be their teacher was one of the most difficult decisions during this role.
Alright, that is an important decision. If you are too friendly, you'll never get their work done. How did you take initiative during this learning experience?
I took initiative while deciding what would help the student most, making questions for the students that would help them best understand their own work and slowly ease into the real questions.
Is it difficult to choose? Well, it is difficult to choose what to take initiative on. But it sounds like you were able to figure it out fairly well. How would you say you collaborated and communicated with these students?
My collaboration with the students was great, making sure they understood I was there to help with their work and not do it for them, built a strong connection with the students. If they were not fully able to complete a question, I would do part they couldn't do for them while making sure they followed what I was doing so they would hopefully not need my help in the next one. This also involved communication skills, as I had to make sure they understood the goal was to help them eventually be able to do the work on their own.
Sounds tough, but it also sounds like you learned a lot of important skills. Finally, how would you describe your leadership and your teaching style?
I would describe my leadership and teaching style as supportive, using clear communication, and positive. I believe in supportive teaching style is important because it enforces learning from your mistakes. If the student makes a mistake, they should be encouraged to learn what they did wrong and fix it for the future. Clear communication is also extremely important. If the student does not understand what you're telling them, how are they supposed to learn anything? Finally, positive teaching also helps in encouraging the student to learn. If they are learning in a positive environment and enjoying themselves, they'll be more interested in learning, which ultimately is the goal. Now we will be changing roles in the podcast, stepping out of your comfort zone. Today we're joined by Rui, who will be sharing his experiences of helping students in the weight room during peer support. So Rui, can you tell us about how you became involved in this project?
Sure. So I'm actually a grade 12 student at VCI, and peer support happens to be one of our link crew class evaluation.
That's great. So what are some difficulties or obstacles you had to overcome while working with these students?
So I'd say some of the biggest challenges were ensuring the students were using proper form and equipment to prevent injury. I also had to keep an eye out for students who were pushing themselves too hard or not listening to their bodies. I'd say another challenge was building trust with the students, because many of the students were hesitant to ask for help or share their fitness goals and struggles. So I had to work on building trust and creating a welcoming and non-judgmental environment. And I'd say another biggest challenges were that the students had varying levels of fitness and different goals in mind, such as weight loss, muscle gain, or injury rehabilitation. So I had to come up with individualized workout plans and modifications to meet their specific needs.
It is crucial that you establish a connection with the students you're teaching. Can you tell me what problem-solving skills you developed during peer support experience?
Yeah, of course. So during peer support, I developed several skills, like active listening. I learned to actively listen to students and understand their perspectives, which helped me to identify the root causes of the problems and come up with really effective solutions that actually help them. Another problem-solving skill, I'd say definitely creativity. I had to think outside the box and come up with like creative solutions to the challenges I faced, such as using limited equipment and keeping the workout sessions like fun and engaging so they keep doing it every day.
It's important they enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah.
Those are some great skills you learned. How did you take initiative during this learning experience? Can you describe any instances where you took charge and demonstrated the initiative during your peer support experience?
I'd say that I took initiative in several ways. When working with students, I took charge and made sure to lead by example, showing them proper form and techniques. And I was also like always open to feedback from students, and I took it into account to improve my method and skills. So I always cared about what they had to tell me.
It can be challenging to decide when to take initiative, but it seems like you handled it well. In your opinion, how effectively did you work and communicate with students during your peer support?
I'd say I collaborated really well with the students. I always made sure to create a fun and engaging environment for the students. This way they were more motivated to actually work out. I also adapted my communication style depending on the student. Some students may need more like direct and detailed instructions, while others may need like more guidance and support. And some may need more autonomy, like just leave them on their own, they'll do their own thing.
It sounds like you had a challenging but valuable experience. In terms of your leadership and teaching approach, how would you describe your style?
That's a good question. I feel like my teaching style is very adaptive. I'm able to adjust my approach and the methods depending on the needs of the students. I also communicate clearly and effectively, providing regular feedback, setting clear goals and expectations, and involving the students in the process.
It's important they have something to work towards.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for being on our podcast. It was nice having you.
Thank you.
That's great. So what were some difficulties or obstacles you had to overcome while working with these students?
I'd say some of the biggest challenges. I'd say another thing is that the students really have varying levels of fitness and different goals for their life, such as weight. I wasn't laughing now.
Oh, fuck! I had to fart so bad. I held my fart so hard. So what were some difficulties or obstacles you had to overcome while working with these students?
I'd say some of the biggest challenges were definitely ensuring the students.
Can I suggest